I know I'm always promising something really special, but this week it is something special. It's the Goldilocks of cars. It's not too hot, not too cold, it's just right. It's the Audi RS Q3 So before we get too close, hold on a sec, look. See? RS Q3. And what that means is that you have a hairy chest. You can take your nana out in this and she'll think you're pretty awesome. And at the heart of every RS Q3 and Q3 Sportback is this turbo 5-cylinder engine. What a peach, and the sound is divine. It sounds like this. Have a look at it, it's beautiful. Now, if you want to get a carbon cover for this, you can. You also get, for standard money, these matrix LED lights. And you can also get carbon covers for your mirrors. And finally, I think these wheels are sexy enough as they are. They're 21-inch, but you can choose some other wheels if you don't want. Some cost, some don't. Personally, I think these look sensational. And as a last little nod to people that just have lots of money to spend, you can get ceramic brakes with fancy calipers for 10.5 grand. I've covered Audis pretty thoroughly, and this one is really just a shopping cart strapped to a rocket. But what you really want to know is what it's like out on the road. Like all Audis, you put the gear lever into drive and then pull it back one more and it goes into sport mode. But there's drive select modes down below. And there's even one marked RS. You press it and the revs increase. The dashboard changes. There's a gauge for power and torque. And there's even a G-spot meter. But with that Audi Quattro, you can do this. Oh! It is magnificent. And this is what you're meant to be doing. Now, when you put it into sport mode or into RS mode, you can do that because you have a RS, it stiffens up the suspension and makes it all bristly, stiff. I love stiff suspension. But what it does do is give you the ability to go around corners with an almost psychic ability. And these corners, these beautiful windy corners on this not very well kept road, are a doddle. I mean, I could go around faster, of course, but safety first. That poor old Volvo behind me is having a very hard time keeping up. And as we go up the hill, that 5-cylinder engine roars into life. It is just beautiful. Beautiful. So even on the hardest suspension on this terrible road, it's okay. There's absolutely no problem whatsoever. But when you get onto smoother tarmac like we're turning onto now, it's all quiet and civilized. And if you want to be even more quiet and more civilized, you can put it into comfort mode. And now this 293 kilowatt beast I tell you, is like a shopping cart. It's nana. going off to Sunday school. I'm going to change the view now. I'm going to put the navigation is up in my 12-inch screen so that I can see where I'm going. Although I actually know where I'm going, so it's not too much of an effort. So you can go through bends at warp 10 if you want to. But the real question is, what it's like on the highway. Now, this is now in comfort mode, which means the noisy exhaust flap is closed. It's doing its level best to imitate a shopping cart. So what that means is that you can drive this Audi to church on Sundays and the racetrack after you've finished. You can hear how delightfully quiet this is. I've done many a test on this road, so keen viewers will remember this road over Razorback. This is the Old Hume Highway, over Razorback Mountain. And I'm still as comfortable and as quiet as ever. It's now as smooth as a Buble ballad. But put it in RS mode, and Buble takes a big line of cocaine. Sadly, it's only 80 kilometers an hour down here, but around corners it sits flat. The suspension is active, and what that means is that it's going to adjust itself to your needs in an almost psychic way. There are selected modes. If you put it in automatic, it'll select the mode it thinks you want. But frankly, I would rather not allow it to select the mode. I'd like to do that, thanks very much. The steering, that's toughened up with the RS mode. And around this bend, this is as flat as a pancake. Flat as a pancake. I can have a cup of tea if I want to, because this is so refined and so quiet. Unlike the other VW Group hot hatches, Golf R for example, this thing doesn't spit and backfire when you back off. It just stays in gear. And for those that would like to select the appropriate gear themselves, there are a lovely set of paddles on the steering wheel. I haven't bothered much with them, but to test them, I wanted to do it purely for observation purposes. Oh my ears are popping going down the range. But now that we're down the bottom, I'm just going to put it back in auto. So this will decide which of the modes it wants to do, just to show you how it works. It is a truly magnificent piece of engineering. But on your weekend, you're probably going to want to go onto the highway. You'll want to do trips to wineries. Well, there's enough room in the back for your crates of vintage plonk. You might want to take a couple of friends. Well, there's a couple of seats in the back, if you must. And of course, in the 100 zone, we're doing 65. But it does give me time to tell you about some of the other features. There's a wireless phone charger and wireless Apple CarPlay. Sadly, Android Auto users have to make do with plugging it in with USB. Kind of makes me chuckle just a bit. Well, that smug self-assuredness that Android users have, taking the piss out of CarPlay users. Well, you just have to make do with a cord draped all over this fabulous cabin. Now, the highway. All right. This thing is a beast. A beast. I'm going to leave it in automatic mode, turn off my RS mode, and now it's back in nano mode. And that's all for Audi RS Q3. It is in many ways just like every other Audi Q, except this one is more powerful. This one is better. So if you've liked the film and you like RS Q3, hit like, leave a comment, but above all, just there to subscribe.